morning. Welcome to the March general membership meeting. Reminder, it is being recorded and it'll be on the website if anybody wants to go back and blame us for something. It'll be on there. We don't have a quorum by technicality, but according to Maryland laws for our type of organization, if we didn't have a quorum the last time, which was December, then the next one automatically constitutes a quorum. So this will be an official meeting. Let's see. I think we're probably ready to go. The minutes have been posted. Is there any questions or anything, or a motion to approve the minutes? We get a motion to approve the minutes. Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All opposed? All right. They're approved. Okay. We've had an interesting 2 or 3 months. Mostly revolving around getting our special tax district out to the public and informed, and then out to the county. We met with the county on it was a Tuesday night, right? Mm-hmm. We met with the county commissioners after all of the due diligence had been done. We posted in the papers and so on. We met with them. We weren't sure how that was going to go, because it's always interesting meetings. But it was open to the public. We didn't have a lot of people there, but the people that were there were vocal. It was interesting. We had one commissioner who basically said, "I hear you, but I'll just let you know right up front." He said, "I'll vote no in the district." Okay, so okay, whatever. And what he contends is he thinks the county ought to do it, and I don't disagree with that, but they don't. Okay, so that leaves us in a position of either doing it on our own, or working through the county with the special tax district, or going into some long drawn out fight with them. And I don't think the county would have resources to take us on totally and do all of our roads and whatnot. So anyway, that was his contention. We thought there was going to be another one who would also be opposed to it, but we went through it. I gave a presentation on summarizing what we were doing, why we were doing it, and what the budget was for it. And in the end, we had some good positive comments from the audience, from the board, and they all voted yes, except for one. The one who announced that he didn't, but it did pass 4-1. So our special tax district has been approved at $175 per billable lot per year. That'll show up in the tax when you get your lovely little tax bill from the county. That'll be an add-on item on that. They didn't, in this year's special tax district, we had included an amount of money to help us with the beach. Basically, under the reasoning that it's a public amenity for our community, that's allowed under the rules for the STD. And they accepted that. We had put in $60,000. At one time we thought it was going to be about half. It's not quite half now because of the cost of materials. But at least we got that in there, and they approved it. So we'll now be able to start a project to start improving the quality of the beach and the protection of the beach. So that was good news. I thought they were very supportive of our organization, of the community. In fact, a couple of them said, "Wow, I've heard such great things about Drum Point. I'm going to come down there and look at it." I said, "Well, yeah, you should." But yeah, right. You're our commissioner. Wouldn't hurt to visit once in a while. Anyway, so that was good. I was pleasantly surprised. There was not a lot of contention. All of the public comments were positive, so we're going to move on. Not really, other than spring is here and got shorts and I don't have socks and we're, I think we're coming out of the deep freeze, hopefully. Of course, you never know until the end of March, but I think we're headed in the right direction. Community's looking pretty good. Having real significant problems going on right now. Got through all the storms in the winter, got everything pretty well cleaned up, and had to plow a couple times, but that, and salt and stuff, so, you know, that, we had budget for that, so we're in pretty good shape, I think. We'll hear more about that later. That's all the comments I have. I'm gonna go around the table. Let's, well, in case you don't know, I'm Mike Snap, and I'm the president. So as we go around, we'll do the committee reports, and just tell them who you are, and press on with that. So, Rhea, would you talk about the road? Or, okay.
I'm Maria. And actually, I just had communication yesterday, finally, from Sal, who's going to meet with Chris Franklin, our project manager, today at 1. Chris had been here previous weekend to look at several different projects that are on the list and have been there for some time with regard to stormwater management and so on. So that's the biggest thing. I mean, we did the paving, that's done and paid for. There were a few issues with, some of the rock, the stones that are put in the rights of way, unpaved, getting too far into what people consider their yards. So I had that cleaned up. There were a few complaints last meeting about that. So Joe cleaned those up, Joe Bateman. And there was just one issue on Riverview with the driveway, in the right of way, but the people had just had their driveway resealed and so on, and it was sort of marred up. So Chris spoke with Great Mills, and that will be taken care of. I don't know if it has been yet, but that's basically, it will be if it hasn't.
Okay.
That's basically.
Any questions on our road maintenance program?
On stormwater?
Hmm?
You can include stormwater in the question?
Yeah.
I was curious about the house that's at Marine Drive and Harbor, where the resident has filled in the drainage ditch.
Yeah.
And it occurs to me that on the Harbor Drive portion of that property, that the association put in quite a bit of money putting in deep French drains to try to improve the drainage there. And then the resident there basically filled in the drainage ditch that was there on the Marine Drive thing. Wondered if that's not a right of way, whether we could have that dug out again so that it's functional.
Yeah, we probably ought to look at that again. We've written to him, it's,
Yeah, I know, it's just like,
yeah.
I'll add it to the list and send it to Chris and Sam.
Yeah, have him look at it, and, part of it is he's moved stuff around and ended up blocking where it would normally naturally drain. I know it's
yeah, you know what it is, you drive by it too.
yeah, so that's why I come in the other entrance. So I don't have to see it.
Just a quick word too about Chris. His time, I think I've said this before in meetings, his time is not as free as Jeff's was, because he's full-time, regular employee for Calvert County Public Works. Jeff was a contract employee, so his time was much more flexible. So it does take Chris a little bit longer to address some of these things, but he is on it.
So how is he gonna watch the work?
He,
If he's working for the
that's
county?
a good
Because
question.
the other guy did a lot of that.
Yes, he did, but he understands that, especially with the paving, that there's a need, and he was right on top of it, that there is a need to monitor and, get the trip tickets from the asphalt and all of that. And he did it, and he has leave time accrued that he hasn't taken for years. He has a lot of leave time, and he understands that fully, that needs to be done.
Because I noticed the other guy, he would talk to the neighbors as they put it down and adjust it as things went on.
Yeah.
And this would not happen with the new guy, right?
No, he is right there on site while the job is being done. Now,
So
he
he's
may
gonna
not
take-
have, he
he's
may
gonna
not
take
have done
vacation?
that. He'll take time off from the county, yes,
Okay,
yeah,
well, that's what he
yeah. That's what he has said.
Well, if he doesn't get paid, so
Right.
he's got an incentive to
Yeah,
He's agreed and he has an incentive to do it.
right.
So,
And we pay him by percentage, so I imagine if he did not monitor, we might lower that percentage. And that's in the agreement that he has, it's on the scale.
okay. Any other questions on roads or stormwater or maintenance or anything? Jack, you want to talk about money?
Okay, well, we've got a couple of budget documents there. Don't want to glaze over straight away, but there's really no issues. Things are going very consistently with the budget that all the residents approved last June. Really very few issues to point out, just everything is well within our budget. There's no need to approve any changes to the budget. I might just add, in the first document that you have, which would be the balance sheet, it's in addition to the importance of the special tax district, it also makes us eligible for additional funding, like state highway user revenue, which you'll see there. I think it was about 8,500 this year. It's really the gas tax money, and we never know how much they're going to allocate to us. But it's money that we otherwise would not get. And when the county says they can take over and do everything, that money, I guess, would just go away. We're not a special tax district. So,
County might get it.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
the
county.
county would get it, but they wouldn't have to spend it here.
Right.
So there's other reasons to have a special tax district that really help us out. The other one would be if, God forbid, we have a hurricane or something and have a lot of damage, as happened in about 2002, I think.
2003, Isabel.
Yeah, the causeway was damaged and we got FEMA grant because we're a special tax district. That would not be eligible for that. The county could still come in and should still come in and do all that work as they say they would. But it's better if we have the power to do it ourselves, I think. So, on the balance sheet, really nothing to point out here. Everything is just as we would expect at this time of the year, of our fiscal year, which runs through June 30th. We should be able to make it right to the end of the year without any changes.
Could I just point out one thing on the balance sheet, and I should have mentioned it. The amount at, or to you, Jack, yesterday, the amount of county-held funds near the top, under accounts receivable, says $374,000. That does not show or include the reduction of 127 or so thousand that they sent to us for the paving. So she doesn't send her reports every month anymore. She sends them kind of quarterly. So I haven't gotten the report from the finance office that will show me that reduction. And then I'll put it in here and it will show a reduction.
Even though we've already actually paid that.
Yeah, it's been paid, it's, we've received the money, it's been paid, I just don't have a report from Robin at the finance office to show that she's distributed another $127,000 to us. So that number will reduce, just so nobody gets the idea that we're building up too many funds up there.
Then the other document we have is the budget versus what we've actually spent. Profit and loss budget versus actual. Again, no surprises there. It does show the state highway user revenue that we have there on the income side. All the income is as expected. We're doing a little bit better on the income side, I think because of some of Rita's efforts to collect funds from some of the residents who have been delinquent or just haven't gotten around to it. So I think we're about at 80% collection rate, maybe something right.
For the current fiscal year.
So that's pretty good. I think that's about what the county experiences with their taxes even. So I think we've got good residents who are, stepping up and doing their part, but also we're organizing to try to make sure that we are as efficient as we can be in collecting a fair amount that everybody contributes. All of the profit and loss line items you can see there are all very much within the amounts approved by the membership last June. And really nothing to point out. And nothing will have to be changed. But looking at this, one other thing we have to do is create a budget for next fiscal year. So anybody, we'll have a committee, a budget committee, meets sometime in April, a date to be set. Usually it's just a 2 or 3 hour meeting, no more than that, to look at any projects that are coming up, things that residents want. Just, having a judgment about the amounts that are being proposed for each line item. It's not that onerous, but it would be a big help if we had people get broader input from the community about what we should be focusing on. Community will vote on all of this eventually in June probably, but still, to have the community compile the budget, I think really good to have more input. Thanks everybody last year that did it, Mike, Jim, and several others. And hopefully they'll do it again this year. We'll welcome other folks to help us put this together too. So thanks.
Okay, I would second that. My experience in a couple other organizations and stuff is there's probably no better way to understand an organization and how it functions or doesn't function than being involved in the budget or treasury process for the organization. It really gives you the best insight into what's going on. So, if you got a couple hours and you feel inclined, we'd sure like your support. Right. Let's have a little update on the environmental.
Yes, I have really
Thanks.
nothing this time except for
Bonnie
Joe.
Blaze.
I think, oh, sorry. We have the Phragmites, that the dead canes on Lake Terrace, and Joe's had a chance to go down and clear those out yet, Rita?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, I was gonna go down and take a look. And then, of course, coming up in the summer, we'll talk to Mark Smith, our Phragmites expert, and see whether we need any additional cleanup. We've been doing this for 5 years now, and we've basically got it under control. But with an invasive species, you never really have it 100% under control, so we just monitor it. Also, you know about Ginny Rice and her effort with the Ivy League, which is to cut the ivy around the bottom of the trees on the common property to help with them of that. I would say menace. Oh, I think ivy is very pretty, but it's very bad for trees. So that's all I've got.
Yeah, I think did she reschedule the last one she was going to have because got weathered out
Yes,
that one day?
yes, I think she did reschedule. Didn't you go to a date, but she's been ill too, that's the.
I don't know the date. She did have me send out an email, but I don't recall what the
Yeah.
scheduling date was.
But if anybody has any environmental issues they see in the common properties, just let us know.
I mean, from the point of view of the Southern Calvert Land Trust, we're very grateful for the work that they've done on 2 of our properties here in the community.
Can I just ask a question? I don't know if it relates to the environment or, but walking along the Bay Drive Causeway, there's a lot of trash in Lake Charming. Some of it, I don't know how we clean it, because it's kind of out far underwater. But it's just boards and bits and pieces of equipment or something.
Is that from the recent storm or?
I'm not sure what it's from, I guess I haven't noticed it.
Yeah,
just
I'm
now.
there, yeah, I think with the Fregma, he's gone,
Yeah.
you see the
see it.
trash a lot
Yeah,
more.
that's-
And there's
that's
like
funny.
balls and, I mean, things just wash in there, and then some people just litter, you know, they just, if they would stop littering, that'd be great. But there is, yeah, a lot of trash.
I don't know how to clean it up, just because it's far from the shore in some cases.
We have a little boat, I don't know if it's still seaworthy.
Let us know.
I'll take pictures of it.
If you're here next week, we'll see.
But maybe
Part of the
we can check that,
trash.
test it. I don't know how to do that. Anyway, see if it would still work, if we can send
Well, I wonder
Joe
if
Junior out.
somebody from DNR would have suggestions for us.
Well, that's probably what they would say,
They
is
say
get
buy a
out there on a
boat.
boat and get it out
Or they
there.
would say, organize it,
And
bring it
actually,
through, yeah, clean it
I
up.
bought you guys bought a grappling hook, little grappling device last year,
Just to-
so that
Oh, and it- yeah.
anything that was very close, Joe
Yeah.
pull it
Yeah.
in. But
But
I don't, you're saying this is too far out maybe.
I remember one store we had during the past year, several people's stairs have washed away.
Yeah.
And that was a lot.
It might be some of
And
the.
sometimes, like, when there's construction, sometimes that, the pieces of plastic and things get
Yes.
run over.
Yeah, it's Jenna, it might be your deck or something, you know? Maybe you need to clean it up.
I think we recovered most
Oh,
of our
okay,
stairs.
okay.
But I can have Joe take a look at it.
Yeah, have them look and, you know,
And all of the different.
it might not hurt to, you know, just to give DNR a call and see if there's any help or suggestions or anything from them. Because it's,
Didn't we have one time, we asked one time, I mean, not that the Boy Scouts would go in a boat, but didn't we ask the Boy Scouts one time if they were interested in a cleanup project?
Was that land-based though? And trash on
Yeah,
the-
that was land-based.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I would hestate to send kids or something out. in the
Yeah, no, I
boat
know.
Or something.
They'd love to go.
Oh, I
They swim out.
I don't think I want the
Liability.
liability.
That's another issue.
Yeah. They'd get out there horsing around.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Maggie, do you have anything on safety committee?
Just for you all who are not aware of the safety committee, we're not very active, but we're vitally important. If a hurricane or any other catastrophic event happens in here, we coordinate with the county services, with the local fire and rescue people. We have 2, maybe 3, one to be 3 certified ham operators. And so it's really important. If anybody is interested in being on that committee, please let me know, because we never know when a storm's going to hit us. And God forbid if a plane should go down, because they're around all the time. So if you're interested, please let me know.
Welcome to committee.
Asha and Ginny Rice and Jenna are still actively putting, buckets together for distribution. Jenna has told me she will continue to volunteer even though she's not. Did I make that up? No. Even though she won't be on the board next year. And I have 5 on hand right now, and I've distributed just a couple this past week. But it's really been successful. Very successful. People are very receptive to it and pleased and so on. And it's enabling me to get contact information, which was the whole point of it.
And most of all, it is donated by local
Yes.
businesses, so. Makes them look good, makes us look good, and welcomes people into the community. Okay, well, planning committee is kind of lumped in with one of the next items, and I've really already talked about it. That's the community beach erosion problem. So we've been presenting things over the past couple of years. Approaches to try to help protect the beach and do some restoration and basically try to keep it in better shape. We did actually sort of serendipitous. One of the storms that we had last in the winter, or fall, I guess it was, actually exposed a bunch of asphalt that was loose enough to where we got a contractor to come in and clean that up as much as they could. And the reason we had them do it is because disposal of that stuff is a problem. So we had them do it. The upcoming beach project will also address that, and we'll try to remove any more that we can. So where are we? Well, we haven't really done much because we've been waiting on the STD to find out if that was going to get approved for some money for that. We do have an application into the state for a grant, and if the grant is approved, the county has agreed, and then we will be able to reduce the STD by whatever proportion that the grant covers. And that's not going to be a huge amount per lot, maybe $10, $15, but you know, they've agreed that that's a reasonable approach. We probably won't know about the grant until this summer sometime. I have no idea, you know, what our chances are. They sounded positive, but you know, they usually do. Anyway, so we're at least to the point now with a funding source that I'll go ahead and start the process with coastal engineering to get permits and things like that started, things that are long delayed, and we'll continue working on it. Any questions on that?
Well, when we're talking to the coastal engineer, will we have a chance to ask questions of them as far as predicting what changes may occur due to the...
Yeah, we can, I invite any participation at all. Yeah. Okay, so the other thing was the STD, and I've already gone over that, so that's about all I have as far as the unfinished business and planning committee. The new business, Kurt has been leading an effort to nominate a committee to put together a slate for our upcoming board that's going to be changing over. So Kurt, you want to?
Yeah, I'll pontificate on it. I mean, fortunately, Mike and Asha and Bonnie have all agreed to re-up for another term. So we have one vacancy, and our committee has slavishly worked hard trying to find someone who would be willing, you know, to run for that role. And we found a person who has sort of intimate knowledge of the community from a lot of different angles, and that's Susan Bork. Who's here, and so Susan is back there in the corner, and so she was the person that we felt that would be most useful and qualified to, you know, to become a member of the board. So that's the one and only. We really worked hard. Interviewed thousands.
So the actual election will be in.
Well, you have the option, since you wouldn't need to make a motion to accept the slate of candidates, but since there are 4 open seats and 4 candidates, you can make a motion also to accept by acclamation today, rather than having a ballot mailed out.
But I think first you have to ask if there are any nominations.
Yeah, well, yes,
Yeah.
yes, we do. Nominations
So-
from the floor.
Are there any other nominations or volunteers or dissenting opinions or anything else? Okay. Do we have a motion to accept the slate? Dan?
I will make the motion to accept the slate as is and forego an election.
Okay. You're basically saying you recommend acclamation of the
Yes.
slate? Okay. Is there a second to that? All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, raise the other hand. I think our slate is approved and accepted by acclamation. We have a new board. And we want to thank Jenna, who, we didn't really say it, but Jenna's stepping down from the board, which allowed to open the slot for Susan. So I want to thank Jenna for all of her help in the board the past few years. Another person who's very active in the community, and thank you.
She's still on call, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still on call.
Got her on speed dial.
She's part of the bucket brigade.
Yeah, bucket brigade.
She helps me set up
Immediate
the
past
meetings.
board
Set
member.
up meetings, absentee ballots.
All right, that out of the way, we have an item on the agenda about a donation of a lot. You wanna mention that?
Yes, actually, I forgot this was on here, because it's a vote. Miss Rex Road, I think they're long-time property owners, had contacted John Norris, Talbot County Attorney, to ask about donating it to the county. And he referred her to us, and I know, Kurt, it's my understanding that the land trust is still not,
Well, we can do it now if necessary.
you can. I wasn't aware of that.
All right, that's because I'm working with other things.
Okay.
Anyway, so we're geared up now, so
Okay.
we can
Well-
accept donations.
So, okay, and in the fact, in that it gives her a bit of a tax advantage, it's probably best for her to donate it to the land trust.
Yeah, basically, there's a federal tax.
Right.
And after that, we take over and we pay no real estate taxes, either state or county
Right.
real estate
Right.
taxes. So it's basically preserved land upon which we put a conservation easement, so that it cannot be traded,
Right.
neither developed nor traded with things.
So I should recommend to her that she contact you?
Yeah, they can contact me, it'll get me off my whatever.
Something to do. Okay, well then I guess,
Well, it sounds like it's a win-win situation.
Yeah, I
If you want
think
to do
so.
that.
Makes sense.
That's what's probably an easier thing to deal with the county. The only thing is I have to do all the paperwork and get them to sign off with their.
What do we do with this land now? We're gonna now have a minor tax
But won't
liability.
be, won't be us.
I'm sorry,
It won't be us.
If it
It'll be
goes
the
to the
land
land
trust.
trust, it won't
The
be
land-
ours.
okay, so
If we took it, it would be, we would keep it in green space,
So-
basically.
We would pay real estate taxes.
But we would be subject to taxes. It's a lower amount, but we would be subject to
Yeah, we
taxes.
had, it was open to tax.
it's a much lower.
So we
because
will
put it in
have
open
taxes?
space.
No, we won't. If it goes to the land trust,
Let
we
me just see
won't.
how you're.
Let's have it, yeah.
Kurt, are you my point of contact? That I would refer to? So, Mike, we put it into open space also, because the association now owns, with the one we just purchased, 48 lots. So all the undeveloped lots, 46 of them are in green space, open space. So the taxes, the full tax bill for all 46 lots is about $86 a year, because we get such a tax break. We can't do that with the association office lot, of course, because it's developed. And I contacted the tax office a couple months ago, in January, about the fact that we had purchased the lot across the street from my office. And I hadn't had a response yet, so I happened to bring it up to John Norris the other night before the meeting, and he said, you need to CC. So I forwarded it all to him. He said, it won't be a problem, but the commissioners have to approve that. So it'll go on to an agenda, it'll get approved, and so on. But no, we don't pay much in the way of taxes on any lots that we own, that the association owns.
The ones in green space.
And the ones in green space.
Right.
I think I will contact Ms. Rex Road.
Aren't they all in green space, the ones that, except for the,
All but the one that is,
Where the
the office
property is.
on. They're
Yeah,
all
the
in
house.
open space. Yeah, that happened years and years ago. Bob Patterson did that.
We have the new lot that we purchased across the street from the office. If that goes into green space, can we still use it for drug point cleanup day?
Oh,
for
yes.
parking, for-
Yeah, we just can't build anything on it. We can't develop it, you know. Yeah, we can use
generate
it.
revenue off it, bottom line. That's the key. You can't rent space and park the cars.
Right, and we wouldn't want to do that anyway, you know. And we don't charge cleanup day and
Yeah.
but you could maybe want to put a building on it at some time.
we would not be allowed to.
I don't,
I
so
don't
I'm just
think we
suggesting that. What happens if you decided you wanted a bigger space to store things?
I think the community would be a little upset if we turned that into a storage lot.
Well, we would have to come back to the membership,
Yeah.
propose some kind of a change, and get it accepted. and-
Well, once it's in open
You
space,
can't-
it
you can't
can't
take
be
it on it.
taken out of open
You're
space.
saying
It's
it's
in perpetuity.
irreversible.
It's
Okay.
irreversible. That's my understanding. right?
Yeah.
So should I
Okay.
stop the process of putting that into open space?
Could we use it, for example, as a playground? Say some-
That I don't know, but I know we already talked about if we ever did a playground, we wouldn't do it there because that's Correa Boulevard and
Well,
it's sort of a busy
Let's,
street.
first, before we do anything, let's find out what our options are.
Okay,
So we know, for sure what we
Okay.
can and can't do.
okay,
And
It would be
whether,
nice to have the flexibility, I agree, we don't know.
yeah. I think
But-
taxes wouldn't be astronomical if we kept
well, we
it.
have to know, what are what's the impact if
Okay.
we didn't put it in.
That's true.
Yeah.
I got lost in that conversation. Are you talking about the 400 Lake Drive?
Yes.
Yes,
So we did, because like.
Yeah, I was gonna
we voted
mention-
on- So it was purchased, and now you're deciding whether to put it in the open, the green space
Well, we had
or not.
planned on putting it into open space, but now the question has come up, well, are there restrictions on what we can or can't do
Okay,
with it in open space?
okay.
Should we reconsider whether we do that or keep it as a potentially developable
Gotcha.
lot? I don't know what the option, that's why I said we need to find out.
I'll send a follow-up email to John Norris and ask him exactly what we would be restricted from doing. And
Is
I'm
that
pretty sure we
actually
could not
what
put a building on it.
The spirit of that land being open space when we bought it, you'd have to address that back with the community.
I don't think it was,
That's, because the understanding is that wasn't gonna be developed. So now you're talking about developing it.
Well, no, we're not talking
No,
about,
you're talking about the ability later on.
we just want to know
Yeah,
we
and
want to
the
know
change in
what,
the-
what can and
the
can't be
purpose of
done.
your
We'll have to
purchase
come back to the board or back to the community if we wanted to change it. So right now, all we're going to do is we're in a fact-finding mode.
Yeah, but it goes against the spirit of the purchase.
Was the
Well,
spirit of
so
the
that's
purchase
what I
just to
say,
have
if
something
that
for the
happens-
community to use though, as
Yeah.
opposed to not develop it?
Yeah, that was my understanding.
Go ahead.
No, you're absolutely right. The intent and stated purpose of purchasing that lot was to leave it open for parking for various events, parking for people going to the office, for the dumpsters during cleanup day. That was the intent. Now, if we make it green space, that makes it irrevocable. It's never going to be able to change. If you assume that an organization with time, its needs change, well, if we do have to change something because of need, we would have to go back to the community and say, hey, look, we originally bought this as open space, but now, let's say 25 years from now, none of us are here, but hey, the needs have changed, and now can we get approval to do this? But if we make it green space, we,
don't have.
in essence, cut that option off altogether. And I think that's what everybody's talking about, is how much do we, in essence, hamstring ourselves for the future by making it green space now? There's no intent, as far as I know, at this point, to do anything but leave it open. And that's the only difference.
We were afraid that we wouldn't be able to use it for things like the community cleanup, if the owner sold this to somebody else and a new house was put on it. So that was really the motivation, I think.
So like,
Well, they used the word develop, and that's another key.
well, when you say develop, you think of a house and so on,
Yes.
and I use that word, and I think that, what Nancy suggested, like maybe a storage building, technically would be considered developing.
Yes.
Um,
That would be in the program.
And so it makes sense, I think,
Or if we
to
did
find
the
out what
play-
the
or if we did the
implications are.
playground, that would also be.
That would be.
And a
fine.
playground would also perhaps.
yeah, that's why I say we need some more fact-finding to
I'll
see
get,
what this all means and.
It just might be nice to have that flexibility.
right, and the taxes would not be astronomical, maybe 125, or something.
But regardless, any
Does
change
perk, so.
in use would require an approval from the community. Because we sold it to the community as open space community need. And if suddenly something's gonna take place on it, that's gotta be represented, I think.
And you mentioned the cleanup, and just, if I can kind of go a different direction, finally have scheduled a cleanup day, May 14th. It was too late to get into the newsletter, but I'll get it on the website and send out a message and so on. Be from 8 until 2.
May 14th.
May 14th.
What happens on that day?
It's, you've not been here probably, but I know relatively new. We bring, the county appeal landfill brings 2 big dumpsters to that spot, and one is used for metal recycling, for which we do not pay. We don't get any money from it, but we don't pay to have it haul away. You can put anything in there from an oven, old couches, lawnmowers. You cannot put an air conditioner, you cannot put computers or anything like that. But the other dumpster is for not household trash, which some people don't listen, and no garden clippings and so on. But you can put, oh, I don't know, just all the other things that you've accumulated over the couple of years now and would like to get rid of.
No derelict cars.
No derelict cars.
Take it apart and put it
But
in the
furniture,
metal.
you could, like an old dresser, you could put in there,
No, no
a couch.
construction
But I
material.
think,
No
I was talking
construction.
about grills.
Girls can go
Oh, yeah,
in
they
there,
go in the
and
metal.
metal recycling bin,
Okay.
all kinds of things. Tires cannot be accepted, no paint. But I'll put that on the website.
No TVs.
No TVs, no TVs.
And
There's something in them.
The good thing is if you get there early, you get first dibs on
Oh,
the.
that's
Uh-huh. Anything that's somewhat usable and in decent condition, we set out. There's usually some man in the community, they'll come and take all the lawnmowers that come. Oh, I can fix that, and he does, and then he sells it or uses it or whatever.
Bikes usually move fast.
Bikes move quickly, if they're in decent shape. One year, a lot of bikes came in, and this was years ago, but there was somebody around the area that would take old bikes and refurbish them and give them out to the kids, donate them. They could go to Smile, but anyway, that might be very quick,
Yeah.
but anyway.
Yeah, we didn't do it last year because of the COVID restrictions.
No, we haven't
were
done it for
not
a couple
allowed
of
to,
years
yeah,
now.
get a dumpster and so, yeah.
Well, that's nice.
Meaning there are a lot of full garages.
Sure, yeah. Much needed.
Speaking of cleanup, another sort of cleanup thing is, we have one of our newer members has asked about and suggested maybe we think about having like a community yard sale day. And so she's working with that. It would be nice to be able to do it down here with the club, to have a kind of a joint effort. Yeah, we're working with the club to see if there's some, a good date that we could work with. But that's nothing in concrete yet, but that's a thing we're considering. Maybe a small rental fee for tables to display your stuff, and that would probably be donated back to the club. So we'll let you know as that evolves.
That's the expensive version of cleanup day.
Yeah. That's so you can sell the TV.
Yeah, you sell the junk rather than just throw it away.
Any comments from the floor? Well, thanks for coming. Get started on a good weekend here. It's gonna be nice today. Thanks.